How's it going, guys? Isaac here, and I've got a special video for you guys today. Since it's been a long time since I've actually made a video, I thought I'd come back in with something special. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a script that I've written. For those of you who don't know, Source games, Team Fortress 2 included, have a scripting system built into them that let you customize your binds or like macro type functions in much more depth than just like your regular options key binding window would in the Team Fortress 2 game. So people have gotten really creative with this, myself included, and I'm going to be sharing my largest project I've ever done with this. It's a script I always have at least able to turn on, and that's one of the nice things. It's I made it so that you can turn it on and off with the press of a button. And yeah, so it's a really complicated script at its base. I'm just going to share with you guys the oh, I clicked the wrong games thing. That's Windows for you. So I'm gonna go and show you guys. This is the base of the script, and every single line except these ones with all the equals and stuff, which are organizers, is necessary, and of course white space lines. But everything here does something, and if you remove any of these lines, some function in the script will break. So it's complicated, it's delicate, but I made a special way of setting it up that's really user-friendly, and anyone should be able to do it. So once you've downloaded that file, it should look like this. Link should be in the description. And you're going to need WinRAR or 7-zip or some extracting program to get the files out of here. If you don't have it, winrar.com, I use WinRAR, and extract it. So I extracted it into this folder called bleh, and there should be these 7 files in it. And first one you're going to open is obviously going to be the README. And this has 8 steps. The 7 is divided into multiple steps in order to fully customize this script. And before I walk you guys through this, might as well explain what the script does. Basically, it's a script that customizes what happens when you switch weapons. And as you could tell if you read the name, it's mainly oriented around view models. And view model is what you see on your screen of like your weapon. You'll see your hand and whatever weapon you're holding. That is what we call the view model. And there is a command to turn it off. And this can really help with aiming. So I have it set so that you can customize it so that for each class, you can customize it for each class. Certain weapon slots will enable or disable the view model. So in my case, for any revolver as spy, I disable the view model. So when I'm playing spy and I take out my primary weapon, the gun in my hand, I can't see it, but I can still see my crosshair, and I can aim it how I want, and it works fine. It doesn't change anything to have it hidden, except that you don't have the big weapon covering part of your screen, and especially the really like blinding reload of the ambassador. Get that out of the way too. So the second biggest function in this is sensitivity. Most of you have a standard sensitivity that you're comfortable with. However, in my case, I have a standard sensitivity and an aiming sensitivity that I use for sniper rifles and ambassador and most hit scan weapons, actually. And I have it set to this using my own script. I make it so that for each class, if there's a particular weapon I want to have my sensitivity slow down or speed up, it's fully customizable so that that weapon slot will do that for that class. And there's also the option to throw in a zoom script. It's all built in, and you know, it's just something with 3 possible settings. You can change what key it's bound to, and if you press it, it'll lower your field of view so that it looks like you're zooming in a little bit, which can help with aiming. So that's basically the script. It's got extra stuff added onto it to make adding other scripts easier, but I'm beating around the bush right now. Let's just get into this before, you know, this video is an hour long. So first step is to delete all other scripts you have. Now the folder you'll need to know is CFG, which is if you go to your C drive or whatever your primary drive is, you're going to want to go to program files, or if you have a 64-bit operating system, program files parentheses times 86. And inside you will have a Steam folder, and inside that you will have a Steam apps folder. And here you'll see the names common, and then anything that's a Steam account that you've used on this computer. And so I'm going to go to mine, Zairuen, and go into Team Fortress 2, TF, and CFG. And this is where everything is. Yours will probably look nothing like mine does. But what you want to do is, if you've installed scripts in the past, you'll know what to do. Just clear them, clear the files, clear auto exec, whatever you need to do in order to get your game clean. If you use like max frame or max quality configurations, those are fully compatible, but just for safety measures, I recommend you take them out and save it into a temporary text file until you're done with this. So if this doesn't apply to you and you've never installed scripts, just forget first step. Second step is to copy all of the CFG files which are in this folder. That would be these 5 here, and for you they might either look like notepad files, or if you have Notepad++, it'll look like this, or it might just look like a blank file that's not associated with a file path. And I mean, you'll know which one. You should know which ones are the configs. It's not the README, and it's not the executable file. So copy those into the folder I just showed you, CFG, and it should create new files. And if it asks you to replace anything, just say yes. Don't worry about it. So once you've done that, you need to open what is called keybinds.cfg, and if you don't have anything to open CFG files, you can just use Notepad. So either open Notepad and drag it into it, or you can right-click, open with, and you have Notepad down here, for example. Now I use Notepad++, so yeah. And I just changed the default program. So there we go. So here it is, and this is very simple. All you're going to want to do is change the configuration. There's only 2 binds in here, so you want to make it so that you change, here it says Q to whatever key you want for quick switch. If you don't use quick switch, just leave a key that you don't use in there, or you can comment it out by putting 2 slashes there, and that'll just nullify that line, so you won't use the quick switch at all. The next one is L, and you can just replace the L here. And I wrote zoom here. It actually means view model, so it will replace your view model script. Sorry, it'll disable it. So if you press this button, which you can customize again, it will turn off whatever you've customized for view models. So it'll keep your view models from disappearing. And I actually do this for commentaries. For example, for Scout, I disable my view model most of the time, but when I'm doing a commentary, I enable it just for the aesthetics. So this, if you press that button in game, it'll disable it, and later we'll configure a button that re-enables it. So once you've done that, next step is to go to the sensitivity changer script, and if you want to use it, if you want it so that when you change certain weapons for certain classes, then you need to manually enable it. So you want to go back to the folder and go to sense config. And here you have different sensitivity settings. And I've got some notes up here, you can read that. This would be your lowest sensitivity setting, and you can see I have it defaulted to what I use. I actually never use the high sensitivity, I only alternate between 2 sensitivities. And this is the default, so you just change the number to whatever sensitivity you have in-game. And if you don't know what that is, you can open up the console in-game and type sensitivity, and it'll automatically put the number that you're running on behind it. So yeah, if you want to use the sensitivity changer script, open senseconfig.cfg and read the instructions at the top, and yeah. If you wish to use the zoom script, open addons.cfg. And in here, there are a number of things, but here is the zoom script. And what you want to do is just remove the comments here. So those are the 2 slashes at the beginning of the line. By removing those, you will completely enable the script. And now, the thing is, there are 3 different kinds of zoom scripts. I've only got 2 because one of them is really not a good one to have. This way, what you do is you have it so that by pressing the button, you zoom in, but when you switch weapons, except for switching to your primary weapon, which actually is a mistake, but it's not too big a deal. When you switch weapons, it will unzoom. And this is kind of a safety measure because if you forget to zoom out again, then it'll actually really affect your performance, and you'll see what happens. So that's the first option. The second one is toggled. You press it, you zoom in, press it again, you zoom out, and that's exactly what the first one is trying to avoid, the mistake of not pressing it a second time. The other option would be one where you just hold down the button to zoom, and that can actually mess up your movement and your aim and that sort of thing. And I didn't include it. I think that was a mistake. I actually intended to have one. Yeah. So next, what you want to do is minimize this, and oh, I did it again. So you want to read the next step once you've decided whether or not you want to use a zoom script, and right here it says bind mouse 4, change mouse 4 in these 3 spots to whatever button you want to use to zoom. Next step, if there are any other scripts you wish to use, read the bottom lines of addons.cfg, and there's a note here. The third one is no longer relevant because this was actually for a group I participated in. And yeah, you can just contact me on YouTube or the YouTube comments instead. Anyways, and it says about adding different scripts that you used in the past. So here's the interesting part, where you get to customize it for each class. And what you want to do is open up simple class config, simple class view model config, and this is, wait for it, taking forever to open. Okay, this is a program I wrote, and it basically assembles a script for each class. And this is broken up into 7 sub-steps, or, well, 6 really. So you open the file, and here's a drop-down box with all of the 9 classes. So you select your class, and this refresh script button, that will, if something goes wrong, you can press it to refresh the script, or this will also be the button that re-enables the script after you've pressed the button to disable it. So I'm going to put it to K. It's right next to L. L disables, K re-enables. It's practical. And then you have options. This is the view model hiding options right here on the left side. And hiding primary, well, in the case of Scout, I'm going to put it to always. So when I switch to it, and this is interesting, by the way. This makes it so that when you click, well, there's 4 different options. Either you don't hide it, when you click, or while you are clicking. Yeah, this one is while you are clicking, it hides the view model, only while you're clicking. And this is the sort of thing that I think Stabby used for the Sapper. He made it so that while clicking, you could not see the Sapper, just so you could see what you're doing better while you're trying to sap sentries and stuff. This one is when you attack. So when you click, it'll hide it, and when you release click, it'll keep hiding it. And this is kind of a old-fashioned way. This is the method that Stabby, who inspired me to perfect the script, this was what he used originally, and my favorite is always, which makes it so that as soon as you switch to the weapon, it'll make it hide. And as well as clicking and releasing click, all of it, it's hidden. Then you change your secondary. As Scout, I usually use the cleaver, so don't want to hide that. Melee, I never hide my melee weapon. And then here it's for right-clicking, and right-clicking either shows, hides, or does nothing. And I'm going to do shows. I like being able to right click to see what I'm doing. Sometimes if I have my force of nature, there's no way to see it unless I have this option, right click. Next is your sensitivity configuration. Now I want my sensitivity to be low for the primary, but medium for everything else. And now for Scout, it's configured. I copy it. Everything in here gets copied to my clipboard. And I go over to my TF folder, or my CFG folder. I go to scout.cfg, which should exist for you, and if I press the right buttons, it'll paste. And then you repeat that with your desired settings for every class. So copied this for Scout. Okay, Soldier. Well, Soldier, I don't actually have any configurations I really want to do, except I want low on my primary weapon. I like having my rocket launcher like that. It's just kind of a force of habit right now. So I copy that, put it in my Soldier. Pyro, I don't actually have any settings I want to change with it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Except actually, since I use the flare gun and shotgun a lot, I'm going to put low for my secondary sensitivity. So copy that, put it there. Demo Man, I don't have anything. Heavy, I don't even play heavy. Engineer, nothing. Medic, nothing. Sniper, low primary sensitivity. Other than that, nothing. And Spy, I hide my primary, low primary sensitivity. Right-clicking shows view models, which is really nice for the Spy because if you have your gun out, you can't actually see your watch when you right-click. And that's why I put it for right-click and not another button. So it was mainly intended for the Spy watches. And for example, if you're using the Dead Ringer, you can't even see or hear a noise. So it's nice to be able to tell if your Dead Ringer is up or not. So that's that, really. You copy all that, and you're done with the 7th step. And there you go. You're done. You didn't even have to open the massive, massive base file here. This monster. You didn't even have to look at it. And you now have a fully functional script. So I hope you enjoy the script. If you use it, that's great. If you don't use it, that's also fine by me. If you have opinions on scripts, I'd be happy to hear your discussions. So feel free to leave a comment below. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video, which should come out pretty soon. Peace.